My side part 2, part 1 down below. I have not excluded women with children. I would just prefer without, but if I found somebody who loved me then child and all are welcome with me. You are right, I hate seeing her pregnant. She is getting quite large already. She is only short, so even when she was 12 weeks pregnant with my child she looked very pregnant. Now she is 4 months pregnant, she looks huge, even wearing maternity trousers already. It is messing with my head, but I don't know what to do because she says she will take me to court if I stop seeing her, as it is the only way daughter will be near her. Stuck in a bind really, and then speaking to her yesterday like she was messed me up even more. Problem with WW is that she doesn't have her own house. She went into a joint tenancy with other man, so she can't be on her own for a year. She is stuck with him. She even told daughter that a week or so ago when she said she won't talk to her until she leaves other man. It was not no because I love him, it was no because I have nowhere else to go. I don't think the grass is so green on the other side. I am sure I need to get out there and find somebody new. I think that is the only way my brain will get over her. It needs to learn to love again, and the only way to do that is to find somebody new to give my love to. Anybody knows any good dating sites? Always find it hard to see that because for some reason I hold her with such highness because she is the mother of my child, I suppose, and knowing that 50% of her is in my little girl makes it hard to hate her. Yeah, she can have joint tenancy with somebody else. Problem is other man is paying all of the rent because she does not have enough money for the rent. She pays council tax, gas and electric, and that's about it because she doesn't have enough to do much more. Basically scrounging off him. Her friend is looking to rent, but she is nuts with blokes far worse than my W, so definitely not the person I would want her to move in with, is guaranteed destruction there. Was discussing this with a close friend today to get the woman's perspective, especially as she did similar. Crappy husband though, which is why she ran. She is telling me that WW wants to come home and is encouraging me to try R if I can. So this is just getting more and more confusing for me. I know what you guys are saying about her. Could she really change though? That is my dilemma. I mean, yes. I love her with every fiber of my being. I am not dependent on her. I have proved that I can live without her, but to be honest, I don't know if I want to. This is so difficult. I just wish there wasn't a baby involved, as that would make things a bit easier. The pregnancy thing is weird. She is adamant that she could not have children, so didn't use protection. Obviously my response back is that is a joke. You had education. You know that you should wear protection, and the doctor advised you that you could have children, so it is an excuse, and we don't know why we never had a child when we both passed all the fertility tests. My friend is nothing to do with W. They have never met and live 50 miles apart from each other, so there is no advice going back and forth. She has listened to me about the conversation and what W was saying and knows how she felt when she did this, and says that she is starting to turn around and realizes what a mess she has made. As you all said, raising somebody else's kid is just a horrible thought as it is from a betrayal, but I can't help what my heart is telling me. Logic is trying to overall and is winning at the moment, but if she says she wants to make a go of it, I don't know which way I would go at the moment. I am nowhere near set on R with her. The more I think about it, the more I think no, this is stupid. Clinging on to a person from the past who was supposed to love and protect me but instead lied and hurt me and my little girl more than anybody ever has, and probably could. It's such a hard thing to get over. I think the issue is that the wall that she held up in front of me for the last few months came down the other day. I saw her for the scared, almost childlike little girl she is deep down and wanted to somehow help her. Unfortunately, I have a good nature and hate to see anybody suffering. Other man probably the one exception to this rule I have held most of my life. If I see him, he is likely to end up in a coffin. For the first time in months she told me the truth. It was amazing as so many things clicked into place. It was like somebody handing me a bag of missing puzzle pieces. Things I always suspected came out, and I almost felt like some closure was had. The other thing I hate is seeing my little girl hating her mother so much, and I think could this be a way of fixing that as well? The thing is, she is so set against me going back to us. She says her mom's a selfish cheat and will just do it again. I am being stupid, I know I am, and everybody kicking me in the head and back to reality is working. Anyways, I am going to cinema with W this afternoon with daughter. Yeah. I know, weird, but she still wants us to do family stuff together, but here is the better news. I am going to church tomorrow for the first time with a little cutie I fancied the rear end off in high school, who is also going to church for the first time. Actually looking forward to it, and will invite out for a coffee methinks afterwards so we can have a laugh together. I am hoping the church bit will help to focus my mind, and the company of a gorgeous girl will hopefully boost my self-esteem a bit. Well, time with W was a bit of a disaster. Daughter was just acting up constantly, and W sat quite upset most of the time. It made me actually think that yeah, I am making the right decision to carry on and just forget her. No matter what I did to try and make the time fun, she either moaned or was cold as ice, so yeah, kind of helped me with moving on at least. God knows what the other day was about, but at least I got some of the answers I needed answering, so let's take that as a positive and carry on going forward. Really looking forward to tomorrow. It's not really a date as such officially, but she already invited me back next Sunday, so that is a good start to getting to know her better again. We have a few years to catch up on. Church not exactly the place to go on the pole, but it looks fun as it is a Pentecostal church, not a traditional style church. Hopefully a good day out tomorrow. She has a D who is 6 years old, so hopefully daughter and her will at least have a bit of fun together as well. See, I am not against potentially dating a girl with a child, and even if we don't get anything out of it from a dating point of view, hopefully she can be a friend to go out with and have fun at the minimum. To be honest, after this afternoon, W was the way she was when we were together, grumpy, and the works just like she always was, and nothing I did was ever right, so the same again. Made me remember what it was like to do something with her and why I became depressed and subdued around her. Think R will be out of the question now. It was weird, it was like seeing the person again, and what made me the way I became because of her. I am never going back to being that person I became again, so she is not the person for me or my little girl if she has not changed. I think I needed that yesterday to kick me back to where I am again now. I discussed it with my mum last night and described how she was, and the first thing she said was, "Yes, that is how she always was with you. We all saw her pushing you down, but nobody could get you to see it." At least it is not just me thinking that other people noticed it. Since she split, several of my family have come forward and said they worried about me and saw how depressed I got over the last year before she left, especially at Christmas, which is when a lot of people I don't see regularly saw me. They all saw her treating me like dirt and that I looked damn right down. Onwards to the future and my visit out with my cute old high school friend today. Hoping at worst I get to reconnect to some old high school friends and start rebuilding my local friends network with her, or at best we reconnect like we were in high school, which I would love to see happen. Got to say, really enjoyed going to a Pentecostal church. Ironically, the sermon was all about the importance of family and how children learn everything from their parents and how we are their role models, etc. It was like somebody up there drew me there today to bestow me with that wisdom. Got to admit, had me teared up several times, to be honest, especially over the destruction over my family, but it just made me think. Daughter is better without her corrupting influence in her life, and that I and whoever I find do will make sure her life is amazing. Meeting up with my old high school crush was great fun as well. Didn't get to talk much as I wanted as we were all running a bit late, but next weekend is the church BBQ, so hopefully now we are both going regularly, we can start to get to know each other a lot better. Worst part over meeting up with her again, onwards to the next part. Having something like church to help guide my path will also help a lot. Definitely on the way up now, not going to be stopped by anybody, especially STBX. Hope she sits and rots in her little house of sin with other man whilst our lives just get better. Feeling like crap again tonight as had to see her again. Feels like every time I see or speak to her that I go downhill again massively. Feeling so depressed again. Spoke to her tonight as she was around again and said, "Look, I cannot see you anymore." Arranged some dates with her to see daughter and then said to call daughter direct instead of through me. Hopefully not speaking to her for a few weeks will clear my head out and make me feel a bit better, but feeling fairly bad tonight. I am hoping it is a minor speed bump. Was feeling so positive, but then all of a sudden, I am feeling so depressed again. I am sure I will be fine once I get to work with friends, as they normally get me out of these slumps and back on the highway. I think I am going to have a good cleanup this weekend of the house. All of her remaining crap can go. When I get paid, I am going to start redecorating the house to make it look different than when she lived here, as I have got a nice lot of overtime this month. Maybe doing the house up will help take my mind off it all as well. I never imagined the pain would be like this, just wish it would go away. I can't understand how STBX has no pain. It just baffles me how the person left behind hurts so much and they are all happy and wonderful and don't feel anything. It is just so infuriating. I also find it strange that now 5 months after D-Day I am still unable to move on emotionally to somebody else, but she was able to do it so quickly. How the hell does that work? Also love how STBX blames me for her daughter hating her. It is not her actions, it is all mine apparently. Women, I don't think we will ever figure them out. Can't wait to get rid of all her crap. It's actually going to be a bit fun. I don't know if this is normal, but I keep having a horrible thought going through my head. I keep hoping that she died during childbirth. She nearly did with our little girl because she really shouldn't be pregnant due to her various illnesses. I don't know why, because I would never wish that on anybody and it would screw my little girl up even more, but I just keep thinking my life would be simpler if she were physically gone. It is like seeing a walking zombie every time I see her, which makes the pain 100x worse, especially when she is so happy and carefree all the time and I am left a single dad living in a life that feels so empty except for my little girl, struggling to move forward. Not seeing or speaking to STBX will hopefully sort me out. I don't get what happened. Everything was so positive, and then I have come down massively the last couple of days. She does seem genuinely so happy with what she has done though. I hope you guys are right and she does eventually get hit by the karma bus, as it is infuriating seeing her being rewarded and seeming to get everything whilst I am left with all of these broken pieces of my life that I got no choice over. I think I have either overdone it on my fitness regime, 8 weeks 1 hour a day of mega intensive cardio and training with little to no break in it, or have a bug, as I have been zapped of all my energy since Sunday night and feel like crap with a banging headache. Taking a few days off from my regime and just trying to chill out a bit to see if that helps. Also trying to get a couple of days off work to relieve that stress, but doubt I can. And to answer from above, no, I don't think I could raise other man-child. It is just wrong, and every time I would see other man I would have to try and refrain myself. Just wish STBX would just give up on my little girl and leave us both alone to live our lives, but don't think that is going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. You know, I originally didn't want to see daughter and STBX like this, and it broke my heart to see it, but you know what, now I think duck it. The selfish woman deserves everything she gets now. Why should I care? It is not my problem. She can blame me all she wants, but what she has done to our little girl is her doing and not mine. From this morning this woman is gone to me. She doesn't exist, end of story. I will speak to her in a month for daughter birthday for the sake of daughter, but that is the end. I am having nothing to do with her whilst she is with other man at a minimum. Maybe forever, we will see, but for now, end of story. I thought hydration, but I have drunk water until it is coming out of my ears the last couple of days and it's not getting better, so think I have just come down with a bug or my body just needs some recovery time. Going to give myself a bit of time off and see how I get on. My depression is because she keeps making me see her, where I then get to hear how great her life is. I can't get time off work to see a doctor at the moment, project deadlines, and the fact that I messed work around a lot due to all this mess, so can't let them down. I am going to see how I get on over the next few days, as when I don't hear from her for a few days my depression dissipates and I start feeling great until she hits me with something. She is gone, dead. She has prearranged meeting times now for daughter. I am not speaking to her anymore at night so she can try and say goodnight to daughter, who will most likely ignore her mobile phone, but that is a problem between them which she can discuss with her when she takes her out for her visitation. I have arranged to not be around when she picks up daughter, so I think I will be fine. Time to move on. She is holding me back with these visits and harassment, so fingers crossed all will be sorted now. I feel down, but not in a dangerous way. I would not harm myself as daughter needs me. I am everything to her. I would also not do anything stupid like X the crap out of other man, as I cannot risk anything to stop me having custody of my little girl, as STBX would win the battle then, wouldn't she? Onward and upwards. She was obsessed with babies. We could never get a second. For some reason she just miscarried at less than 10 weeks or less. Would love to know how she can miscarry my kid again in March and then have what is looking to be a perfectly healthy child with this piece of scum in May. Maybe somebody up there wanted me to lose this narcissistic mess of a wife. That is why I was not blessed with another child with her. It is annoying because she said 2 years ago that if I did not get her pregnant by the time she was 30 she would leave, and less than a month after she turns 31, bam, she is having fun with somebody else. She is liar. She's gone to me, end of story. Want nothing more to do with her, and they can rot in the mess they are creating. Hopefully the karma bus will come along and hit them both head on. I tried to fix this relationship between STBX and daughter. Every time it started to improve, STBX would do something else to her to make her hate her more. I am stepping back from it. All I do is get accused of being the reason she hates her mum, so what is the point? All it does is hurt me and daughter more. I am retreating back and saving me. By saving me I am helping daughter, as I can bring more stability to her life, which is what she needs, whilst her mum is off in fantasy land with the pixies spreading her legs to anybody to get a kid. I don't agree with the biological stuff. We are human beings, not animals, and know the difference between right and wrong. What she has done is a disgrace. She was only just 31. That is hardly ancient. I know in her high school you were an outcast if you hadn't had a kid by age 14, but she is acting like an idiot. Daughter has no respect for her. How can she? What child would agree with what STBX has done? I am not sure she will have a relationship with her stepsister because as it stands, she is rarely going to see her, which is a shame, but then what STBX did is the reason for that. Liars and cheats are scum, plain and simple. Daughter has strong morals because we brought her up that way, and STBX known that. When you hear what daughter thinks of her mom because of her actions towards her, it is hardly surprising she doesn't want to talk to her. She was obsessed with my daughter. She has a strange type of love. She can only love one person, and that became my daughter for all of these years, and I was always second best. It is strange because I have two types of love. The love between me and my daughter, which is amazing and I can't explain it, and the love I had between me and her, which was different again, but I was able to love them both as you should. Father and daughter and husband and wife, she just couldn't do that. Another man will no doubt have that problem. STBX could only love my daughter, slowly pushing me further and further out to the point where I was just becoming nothing, and she could not see what my problem was and why it made me depressed. An example of this is if me and STBX were having a conversation, daughter would interrupt us and STBX would just drop me and do whatever it is she said or wanted. If I said anything, then I would get shouted at. Another example is when I said, "You are destroying our family." After D-Day, she said, "Our family is me and daughter and has been for 10 years. I pointed out the correction that we are all the family. In my and daughter's eyes, a family is the three of us. I have had several phone arguments with STBX since she left because it has upset me several times seeing my daughter so hurt and upset, and some of the things daughter has said about STBX. I am not doing this anymore though. End of story. I will not be speaking to her again. Except if arrangements have to be changed, and that will be done via text. I am not going to try to patch anything up between daughter and STBX. That is for them to do during her visitation time. On set, I saw my old wife for what she was. What I didn't see when I was married to her. She was grumpy, controlling, and being a general annoying woman, and when I sat back and thought about it, this is exactly what she was like when I was with her and out on a trip or holiday with her. It gave me perspective and made me sit back and think, all my friends and family are right, she was like that. I just didn't see it. Pedestal syndrome. You guys are correct about my age. I am 31 as well, to be more exact. My wife is about 30 hours older than me, as she was born the day before me. Birthdays were always a nightmare. You do something wrong on her birthday and you will pay on yours. All good fun. Scarily, daughter says the new baby will be everything to STBX. I am not saying daughter will not be loved by STBX. She just will not be loved in the same way as now, because STBX will become obsessed by the new baby. That is just how she works, especially after it is taking so long for her to get it. I am staying out of their relationship already. All I did was try and convince daughter to talk to her mom and convince her that it was the right thing to do. I would make sure the phone was answered and STBX could say goodnight to daughter and that she would accept visits from her. I am stepping away from that now. I have given STBX agreed visitation time. What her and daughter do is for them to sort out, and if daughter doesn't want to go, well, that is between them. I have told her to phone daughter's mobile to speak to her. Again, if she doesn't answer, that is between them and nothing to do with me. I am staying out of it, as all STBX does is blame me for their relationship being broken. It couldn't possibly be her actions, as she is a typical modern-day person who cannot take responsibility or accountability for her actions. Got that from the church service on Sunday. Made me smile as it summed her up nicely. Although I agree with you to an extent, I have been trying my best to help their relationship. I have told daughter not to do what you are suggesting, and that is punish STBX on my behalf. It is a pointless exercise and nothing good will come from it, but she has continued because she hates other man and her mom for her selfishness, ignoring her and putting him before her and her family. She is punishing STBX for hurting her, breaking promises, destroying her family, and now having another guy who she hates kid 2 weeks after moving in with him. And yes, most likely some of this will also be for hurting her dad, but what STBX did to her is far worse. The problem STBX is that daughter has no respect for her anymore. How could she? Her moral compass is so different to daughter that they will probably never see eye to eye on this, and STBX just keeps telling her things that she doesn't want to hear. Daughter has already told STBX what she thinks of her half-sibling. She says that she will never hate it or not love it, as it is not that child's fault who its parents are, but when it is old enough, she will tell it what its mom and dad did. Probably by that time her anger will have dissolved quite a bit. She did say that she will never like or love its parents, as what they have done is disgusting. I thought that was an amazingly grown-up thing for her to say to STBX, and shows that her hatred and anger is focused on what she has done to her. I will be there for daughter and that I love her. She knows that I would never not be there for her, and I have reinforced this to her whenever she has questioned it. I have a feeling that eventually when it happens and she sees that I have moved on, got somebody new and some sense of family will hopefully return to our home, she will hopefully start to forgive her mom. My primary focus at the moment is getting me sorted out and ensuring I protect daughter as much as I can from the mess that our lives now are. I will not be rushing into anything anytime soon. It still baffles me how the WW can just move in with somebody and go full speed. I have faults, never said I didn't, but I was a loving husband. Never stopped. The first thing I would do when I walked through the door was hold STBX, tell her she was beautiful and that I loved her and kissed her. I would then give my daughter a hug and see how their days had been. I always held STBX in the morning before I went to work. Normally for an hour or more, and I would always tell her how much I loved her before I left and would always kiss her. The problem was her constant spending took a huge financial toll on us to the point where we couldn't go out as much. Her constant putting me down was another major issue and caused me to lose my self-confidence, which then led me to gaining tons of weight because I would comfort eat to feel better. And there were no complaints in the physical department. I even asked her during all this mess. I always made her the center of attention. Yes, I think I am better off without her. I do feel like a sperm donor who, because she never got that second child, was dumped in the trash, but maybe it was a lucky escape. I also feel this guy definitely is a donor, although apparently she loves him and all that crap and he is wonderful. Oh, I am not officially divorced. My solicitor is advising against that at the moment. She thinks I should leave it until at least 1 year after separation. Luckily in the UK, the only way I would be responsible for child support is if my name is on the birth certificate, and the only way that can happen is if I physically sign it, which obviously is never going to happen. And it can't be falsified as you have to bring picture ID with you. I do work away from home already. I have a 50-mile commute to our nearest major city. I did look at moving there a few weeks ago, and daughter loves the idea, so potentially we are going to do that before she starts high school next September. This year she has a set of important exams, so I would be foolish to move her and cause the massive amount of disruption to her school life just before a set of important exams. Daughter is not interested in seeing STBX or her new step-sibling, so this would work nicely for all of us, but STBX can cause a massive issue with it by getting a court order preventing us from moving. She did say she wouldn't a few weeks ago, but then started to threaten me again last week when daughter started telling her to get lost, so who knows where we will stand. Nothing is simple when it comes to psycho ex-wives. My solicitor says they recommend a year to let everybody's emotions calm down apparently. It also allows daughter to settle down into her new routine and ensure everything is right before it gets set in stone during the divorce, as if we were to do it, no, everything would be all emotion-driven and might not be best for me. Daughter, even not that I care STBX. I can see her point, and they are the best family law solicitor in the country, so I am listening to what they are saying for now. Plus they cost enough. If the woman I truly deserve comes along, and this time I will not let this piece of paper stop me. It is over between me and STBX. I know that seems wrong because I am married, but let's face it, I am not anymore. A marriage requires two people, and the other person is not here anymore. If the person I deserve does come along, she will hopefully understand and wait for me, or I would hope so. I am 6 months in already, so what's another few months? I never wanted to see daughter and STBX hating each other. It breaks my heart if I was completely honest with you all. The problem is that STBX promised my daughter all the time she would never divorce me or cheat on me. I know, ridiculous to promise a child that. Especially from a known cheater. This came from a fear daughter had because a couple of her friends in her class had been through divorce, and it scared the crap out of her. Daughter has taken these breaks and promised to heart. Her mom lied to her. She cheated on and destroyed her family. Another thing daughter held dear. So how are you expecting her to act? It was hard to hide her mom cheating on her dad when she did it in front of daughter's own eyes. Even to the point of kissing other man in front of her when they were just friends the first time she met him, thus reaffirming what she had feared. A divorce can go through in the UK in about 6 weeks if everybody plays ball, so kicking it off 1 year after separation is not a big deal, so to wait until this point doesn't really bother me. I am giving my daughter the space she needs. I feel at nearly 11 years old, next month is her 11th birthday, that she can express how she feels quite well. I feel that forcing her to see him live with other men would be a massive mistake and would scar her for life, as she hates him with passion for what he did. I have absolutely no issue with her building a relationship with her half-sibling in her own time and in her own way. I will be there for her every step of the way and encourage her as I always have and will. With regards to Miss Wright, even if she did come along tomorrow, I have no intentions of marrying her in the next 6 months, and to be honest, I don't feel that I am ready to give my heart to anybody else at this moment in time. It is still quite shattered and requires a lot more glue and sticky tape before it will be back into anything resembling what it used to be. The issue with STBX is she sees nothing wrong with her parental style or anything she has done, so getting her to see she needs help is a long way away if ever. This is why I am leaving her to fix her relationship with daughter, as it is not my problem. I was there for both her and daughter and she didn't want my help, so who cares about her? My comment. This is a short series with a happy ending, so sub and bell and I will see you in part 3.